Hello, makers. I'm Jen with Making, and my pronouns are she, her. My Making app username is Knit Pearl. Welcome to Making's Flock Fiber Festival vendor meet and greets. We're so excited to share these stories with you and share these amazing artists. And thank you for joining us.
I am Rachelle from Moondrake Co, hand dye yarn. And if you heard about me, it probably would be about Fua Fua, my most popular base right now. And I'm from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and I dye and sell my yarn online on Instagram, on a lot of yarn shop, and I guess that's my intro.
I love it.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay, so tell us about your journey as a maker. What initially sparked your interest and how long have you been a maker?
Okay, I didn't tend to be start at a maker, but I'm a knitter. So how I start dyeing yarn, because my very first color work sweater, I need 3 colors, and then I couldn't find a bright orange. So it's not a Gigi story, but I couldn't find the orange. And then my friend actually said, "Why don't you dye it yourself?" And I said, "I can do that." She said, "Yeah, have you heard of hand dye yarn?" I said, "No." At that point, I didn't know anything about hand dye yarn. And then I researched a little bit on YouTube, and then I learned how to do it. So then that's how I started to dye my very first skein of yarn.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome. I love that. So it was orange.
It was orange.
That's awesome.
I still have that picture.
I was gonna say, okay.
It's my first Caitlin Hunter project too.
I love it. Oh my goodness. How did that evolve into where you are today with your company?
It was all accidental. I would say that.
The happiest accident.
Yes, happiest accident. Because I didn't know I will go into a business, because I just want to dye yarn for myself or my friends and stuff. Like, it was for knitting,
just
and
for fun. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they said, "You should sell it." I said, "Well, how do I sell it?" And then that's how I started. And I make my website, because my former life is a programmer. So make a website is like a big deal for me. So I just make a website and starting to sell it.
That's
and
amazing.
Then there were local yarn shop that discovered me, and then they started to carry my yarn. They said, do you wholesale? I said, I don't know how much I can do.
Mm-hmm.
So I started my very tiny first batch of 50 skein.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that shop? Who is that shop?
It's Nistar.
Ah, nice.
It was all started 2018.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Okay, so when going back to like your making story, so how long have you been a knitter?
Since I was 10.
Since you were 10. Who taught you how to knit?
My aunt.
Your aunt?
She is a big knitter.
I love it.
Yes.
And she's passed that info to you and you just kind of took it and ran with it? Or was it like you learned and you're like, I'm 10, meh, and then you picked it up later?
It was just interesting seeing like the hand movement and that sense that like when you yarn, you just want to mimic something that like adult doing. You thought is like, okay, what they do is fun. And then she starts, you need 2 needles together and just go through all these loops, and then that's how I started.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, when you're like 10 years old, when you will not be focusing on this kind of stuff. But when you became teenager and you're fascinated with boys, then I started to think, okay, I'm going to knit a sweater for a boy, then maybe I will have a boyfriend.
Did you not know about the sweater curse then?
At that point, I didn't know.
I will say the very first sweater I ever knit was for my boyfriend, and we broke up a couple months later.
He was never my boyfriend.
Oh, you were trying. You were trying. So, I mean, at least the sweater curse did not hit you.
No.
But it hit me.
Oh,
It's real life.
It's not a myth. It's
It's
real.
not a myth. It's real. I mean,
Okay.
we were never going to make it to begin with, but I should have known. Okay. And it's funny, that person's mom is who taught me how to knit.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was
Did you go back to the mom said, "Oh, your son didn't like the sweater,"
no, he liked the sweater.
and he took it, and then
He took it
Oh no!
when we broke up. And a year later, I messaged him on Facebook because I had deleted everything. And I was like, hey, if you don't want that sweater, I'll take it back.
Of course,
He never messaged me back. It's fine. Yeah.
Hand-knit sweater is the jam.
I know. When you shared your bio with us, something stuck out. A Canadian now living a creative life in Oklahoma. I need to know everything.
I am from Toronto, Canada. I am also a big gamer. I play a lot of video games.
Oh, nice.
So that's how I met my husband. At
I
that
love
point,
it.
yeah, at that point, we were just bunch of gamer join up a server and play games, and then we were such a good team, and then we started to play, just like always set up a time to play together against other people. And then later on, at first he didn't know I'm a girl because I don't use any identification to tell people I'm a girl. So he thought I was a man. So he is
before you had met in person. This was only on. Okay.
Online.
Okay. I love that.
And never see each other.
Okay.
And then later on, because he always complained, why you just type, you should have a mic and to communicate during the game is like so much. I said, no, I don't have money. And then he wanted to send me a mic.
You're like, I'm trying to make sure no one knows that I'm a female.
Yes. So, and then later on, I feel like we connect, like we talk a little bit, and then I said, okay, I'm going to tell him I'm a woman. And then he was shocked. I've been playing with a girl all this time.
Oh my goodness.
And then we started long distance for about 3 years, and then he proposed.
He proposed while you were all long distance.
Yeah, we video chat, and then sometimes we visit each other, like when we have vacation time.
Yeah.
So, and then 3 years later.
Aww.
And I said, okay, yes. And then I moved to Oklahoma. So I'm a Canadian living in Oklahoma. But recently, I got my citizenship of America, so I'm American now. Yes.
Now, yes. Okay. Well, but you can always go back to Canada if you need to, right?
Yes.
Which, because sometimes it's scary here in America.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm glad you have options.
Thank you.
Take us with you. Okay.
Yes.
So how do you balance your passion for fiber arts with the demands of running a business?
That is something I'm still learning, because the demand and the supply always, during the COVID, it was really hard.
Yeah.
Because there were demand, because everybody at home and everybody wants to knit. But at that time, shipping, getting the supply was really hard. And then at that point, everybody was stalled. Basically. But we open now. It's like demand and supplies is good, but except there's like a huge pattern come out, and then everything got sold out at once. And then that means that is still, I need to learn how much I need to do to prepare for a big project. Something like that. That is what I'm still learning.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everybody can relate to that in different ways, right? Even if they don't make yarn, like
all makers.
I think we're all makers.
Like bags, project bags, and like stitch markers.
Oh yeah. So do you feel like you are able to get enough time in for your own personal making, or is that kind of gone? Yeah.
This year, nothing at all.
Yeah. I know. I feel like since we started getting ready for this partnership with Flock, I haven't picked anything up.
Right. Because you're dedicated to something, you want to make it like smooth.
Yeah.
Everything goes well.
Oh yeah.
So you need to sacrifice something.
Yeah. I was writing an email like in the car, like for everyone that's watching, the making email that you got this morning, that was sent from the car. We do what we can here. We're a startup life, right? Okay. So when you're not making, which you just said you don't make a lot. So when you're not running Moondrake,
Okay.
what do you like to do? You said gaming,
Gaming
What else?
and cooking. I like to cook.
cooking.
Yes.
I love that.
I like food. I like to try new food. Me and my husband always go try some new restaurant and different food. That is our passion too.
I love
Yeah.
that. If you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Seafood,
Seafood.
definitely.
Yeah. Because then you get the protein too.
Exactly.
And yeah.
And
good.
it's very tasty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everything from the sea is tasty.
So wait, but you live in Oklahoma.
Exactly. You see what I mean? In Toronto, I have all kinds of
Yes.
seafood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I miss you. That's why as soon as we landed, my husband said, go eat your seafood now.
Yes. Yeah, here in Seattle. We have a lot. I mean, I have not okay. So I've been a vegetarian since the year 2000.
Okay.
When I moved here, I was like, maybe I should add in a little bit of fish
yeah.
because it's fresh here. I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, so it's kind of the same.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
you don't want
I
to eat
understand.
yeah.
Yes.
And so I really just like tried and I couldn't do it.
Oh,
And I think a little bit of it is like,
how about in
I
a
don't
broth,
know.
like a fish
Maybe
broth?
broth. I could probably do a broth, but it's like,
Yeah.
well, first of all, I'm a very big texture person. So that's the thing.
Okay.
But I also think it was like, I went too far. The first thing that I did was like crab legs. Why did I do that?
Oh my God, so tasty.
It was delicious, but the act of like pulling the meat out of the legs was
Oh,
hard for me
okay,
because
okay,
I hadn't
okay.
had meat for years.
I see.
All right, we just went on a side quest. That's what we call it on the podcast. When we kind of go veer off to something else, we call it a side quest. So yeah, that's what we just did. Okay, so everybody has a story that they want to tell with their business or products that they make. What is the story that you want to tell?
I would like to tell about, like, a lot of people actually ask me, how did you come up with these names for your bases, like Fua Fua, Pika Pika, Moko Moko, like they are all Japanese words.
Mm-hmm.
Why I choose that, because when I feel the new base and then I get the feeling, and I thought, okay, it reminds me of, like, I lived in Japan for a while. So like sometimes like when I interchanging channels up here, switch out English and then other languages. Then I thought right away, I touch something, I will think of a adjective from Japanese first.
Oh yeah.
So and then that's how Fua Fua comes in. It's like because it's so fluffy, so squishy. That's how the names come in. So that is like my biggest like story. This time people keep asking me, how do you name this? Why do you name it this way? And then like this is what my explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, you're really giving a nod to your culture. And
yeah, a little bit.
Bringing in that with the beautiful yarn.
Thank
I
you.
love that.
Thank
I
you.
love that. Okay. So what is next for Moondrake? Is there anything happening? Any other shows or big things or partnerships that you can talk about? We're trying to get some exclusives here.
Okay. My biggest thing just came out with Andre Murray, the Tessellated.
Yes.
Rhinebeck. And then we, Caitlin Hunter and I cooking up something.
Ooh.
And last night I had dinner with La Bien-Aimée Amy, and then we
love Amy.
We just have a little initiative talk about collaboration.
I love that.
I'm very, very, very humble. I feel so grateful to have all this chance to work with great designers, makers.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
We just have such a wonderful community. And I think that this festival really like has proven that. Yeah.
And I'm so grateful with Spin Cycles with this collaboration with their yarn, and I dye their yarn. It's so amazing. So far the journey working with them is phenomenal.
Yeah.
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 It's-
We love spin
If you have the
cycle.
chance to work with Spin Cycle, please
Yes.
work with Spin
Yes.
Cycle.
Yes.
They are fantastic ladies.
Yes. And definitely buy their yarn if you have not.
Exactly.
And buy Moondrake yarn as well. Obviously, that's the most important one as we are sitting here right now.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So where can everyone find you online and all of that jazz?
I have a website, moondrakeco.com, or you can also buy my yarn from various yarn shop as well. They also put my yarn online. Like,
Great.
yeah, Amy also have a little bit of my yarn
Yeah.
on her website. So you can buy my yarn like from other makers as well.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. I just got distracted by a very adorable dog. Sorry. Head over to moondrakeco.com and go to themakingapp.com to download the app and also check out our podcast, Making Conversation. All right. Anything else you want to tell everybody before we sign off?
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Sure.
thank you for joining
Yeah,
us. This
thank
is
you for
so
making
great.
Co. Thank you for watching too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.